So then here we are on the grid for round 11 of the GP2OS 1994 season here at Spa. 44 laps, lights are on. And we're off here. Senna's got an absolutely fantastic start of the line. He jumps Hill as they all fly down into turn 1. Is Mansell going to try and go around the outside of Hill here as well to take second place to make it a Ferrari 1-2? Senna leads. Hill looks like he's going to hold on to second. Mansell third. Irvine fourth. Lacey in fifth place with Brundle running in sixth. Is Mansell going to try and send it up the inside going into Eau Rouge Radion? No, he isn't. As they now head down into the Kemmel Straight here. Absolutely flying. As they now head down the main Kemmel Straight here. There's a few gaps forming in the main pack here. Now heading down into Lecombe. And Senna leads the race, followed by Damon Hill, Nigel Mansell, Eddie Irvine, Jean Lacey, Martin Brundle, and Yugo Katayama as well running 7th. Fishy Keller in P8. So this is just a massive gap already here in some of the packs. So Garth Berger running behind Van der Peet there. There's Panis, Hakkinen, Mohammed, Mancinelli, Leto and Barrichello. But as we cut to Ayrton Senna, who leads the race here, just ahead of Damon Hill, heading through Pouon and then into turn 12 and turn 13. Eddie Irvine going to try and send one down the inside of Mansell. Very close there to making contact, but just about avoiding making contact there with the Ferrari. Who did Irvine? So he makes his make their way through Stavolo. As we now have a look at Ayrton Senna, just ahead of the pole sister Damon Hill, and there is all a bit of a battle going on there. Is that Lacey trying to make a move on Irvine? He's through, so Lacey's through on Irvine. Is he also now going to try and send a move on Mansell? No, he isn't, but that's Brundle going down the inside of Irvine, and he gets it done. It creates a huge gap there, but Brundle is through into 5th. Now Lacey, he's got Damon Hill all over the back of Senna and Lacey all over the back of Mansell here as we move on to lap 2 of the race. Ayrton Senna leads, Damon Hill P2, Nigel Mansell P3, Lacey P4, and then we've got Brundle in P5, and then P6 is Eddie Irvine. Now we cut to Nicola Larini running in P23, and everyone now just making their way around. And there we go. So there's Ayrton Senna. And there's all movement here as well as Irvine and Brundle. I'm seeing positions change as Irvine's made his way back past Brundle there. So good move there. There's Gerhard Berger. Obviously the race winner this season with Tyrrell in Monaco, which was an absolutely cracking race to watch, to be honest. We are on lap 2. Here, and there's a slow moving car. Who is that? There's car. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Oh, there's just flames everywhere. Oh no, Fittipaldi's smoking. And I think there's also another car out. This is Sauber, but Fittipaldi is out. This race there. Yeah, Barrichello's out with a transmission problem. And incredibly surprisingly, Fittipaldi is out with an engine problem. But here's Ayrton Senna. And Ayrton Senna just ahead of Damon Hill here. So Ayrton Senna being chased down now by the Williams, and Mansell as well under pressure from a Lacey, but now riding on board then with Damon Hill. He's right up behind Senna here. He's seemed pretty quick all weekend around this track, and I think this is where Damon is going to be hopefully trying to make a move on the Ferrari. What's his line going to be like through here? Seems okay, but you've got to remember the Ferrari is an extremely powerful car, so I don't think Damon's going to get very good slipstream. But Mansell is under pressure from a Lacey quite a bit here. Is a Lacey going to send one down the inside going to Lecombe? Here we go. Here comes a Lacey. He's going to send one down the inside. And what a move there from a Lacey. Late braking, and he's through on Mansell. The Mansell's line was pretty shocking through there as well, and that will allow Irvine to catch up just a little bit. As here we got Damon Hill makes a move. Damon Hill is through. Damon Hill makes a move on. That's a really unconventional place to make an overtake. But let's see here then. So Senna going around there, and Damon just says, "Thank you very much. I'll have that." Oh, it's an issue. That's why Senna's got an issue. Senna has an issue. He's got an issue with his throttle. So Senna has got throttle issues. So maybe he'll come into the pit lane at the end of this lap to get that one fixed. But oh no, Senna with problems this early on, 3 laps in. At Ferrari, they've worked tirelessly to help the reliability on the car, but unfortunately, the throttle problems aren't going to be helping Senna at all here. And he's now just holding up his own teammate as Mansell goes through into third. I think Senna will be pitting at the end of this lap to get that one sorted. But that's unfortunate for Senna, but if they can get that fixed in the pit lane as soon as possible, then yeah, so in he comes, he's coming to the pit lane, and hopefully Ferrari squad can get that one sorted. And he'll be straight back out, and we might be seeing a nice little Senna comeback. As that's Leto slowing as well. What's going on these first few laps? Leto's slowing down. As Ligier, obviously, they have struggled to get upgrades in, but it doesn't seem like he can make it to the pit lane. What's he doing there? Is he stopping? Is he going to stop? No, transmission problem there for Leto. That's very unfortunate there for the Ligier, but, you know, Ligier, they haven't really upgraded their car all too much this season, so that's the result, unfortunately. And they stopped upgrading it at the last window, and fortunately they're paying the price at the moment. But Hill leads, followed by Jean Lacey, Nigel Mansell, and then Eddie Irvine. Katayama with a bit of a lock up there, bit of a poor line. He's got Morbidelli right behind him, so Morbidelli is going to be looking for a move. So here we go. It's going to be quite interesting there. And then there's Jean Lacey, P2. So obviously, as it stands, Hill will come out of this one in the lead of the championship. As here we go, Herbert as well, after a poor qualifying session, is trying to make his way up, but he's struggling here at the moment in Belgium. Is Herbert up behind Babika Mohammed. Now have a look at the suspension of Jean Lacey, who running P2, and look at that, you can see Senna on the minimap as well, already making significant ground. I think he's just behind a Sauber at the moment, but you see the red just hiding behind the black dot as they go through, just in at the pack there, you can see. But go around riding on board with Damon Hill, who has had, let's say, his contender thrown out of this one for a while with a throttle problem. So Senna is going to be spending a lot of this race trying to make his way back up. Panis is going very slow around turn 1. Nearly having, I think that's Mika Hakkinen hit the back of him, but Mika Hakkinen is gaining quite a few positions in this race. Be interesting to see where he ends up at the end of this one, but we've also got Herbert behind the Minardi as well. Johnny Herbert looking to make moves up the grid. He's obviously struggled pace here, and is he going to try and send one up the inside? He's got the overspeed. No, he's not. So I just don't think Herbert's been very confident in that car. Yeah, he's a bit of a poor line there. So yeah, he struggled quite a bit in that car as Herbert. More recently he has anyway. Oh, bit of a lock up from Coulthard there, but yeah, he's been struggling quite a bit, has Herbert, and I think he'll want to maybe change that as soon as he can, because at the end of the day, I'm sure we all want to make sure that he's well, I think he wants to make sure that he's retained by Williams, shall I say. But anywho, we are on lap 5 out of 44 here in Spa. Nigel Mansell there, running P3. Nigel Mansell only has 1 podium to his name, I believe, this season, so he would like another one. As Berger as well, battling with Ricard Rydell, I believe that is. So bit of battling going on there. Now right on board with Mansell through turn 1. And Yugo Katayama in a bit of a ding-dong with Rydell, Berger, Panis, and yeah, big train hit. So Berger trying to catch back up as Senna's setting quick laps. Look at Senna's already in the back of this train here. He's flying at the moment after having that throttle problem. He's looking to make his way up. We're right on board, and what a move! He's through on Mancinelli there. He's not messing around here as Senna. He wants through ASAP. Oh, criminy. That was close there, Senna. So Senna is pushing very, very, very hard at the moment. Nearly just dropped it there. And I did see Benetton as well making a move. Yeah, Benetton there. And Rico Rydell making a move on Gerhard Berger. And running on board with our race winner from the last round, Brian Herter, on a nice little rich vein of form at the moment. I'm sure he wants to get at least a point from this one. He's running 7th in the Drivers' Championship at the moment, and he scored points 3 times, and one of those times he has won. But here we go, Mansell then defending from Eddie Irvine as they now head round these corners. He's going to maybe try and send one down the inside. Oh, he's way too far back. That's never going to happen. I don't know why I was even insinuating that one. But oh, there's a big old cluster of cars here. Rydell trying to defend from both Berger and Panis, it seems there. And there's also Williams trying to go for a move. I don't know if you guys just saw through Blanchimont. As Panis now is going to try and send one down the inside of Rico Rydell. He gets that one done. Nearly contact there, but Berger sends it around the outside of the bus stop. There's even more contact and battling going on there as Mika Hakkinen had to back out a bit there. But that has allowed Senna. Senna's absolutely flying here. Was he going to try and send one down the inside at turn 1? No, he's going to sit behind there of Johnny Herbert. So we're going to ride on board, I think, with Senna. I think it's only right. He's absolutely flying through the grid at the moment. After his team were able to fix whatever throttle problem it was in the pit lane. So Senna, though, look at this. He is just on a charge at the moment, right up the back of Johnny Herbert. He's going to get the slipstream. Is he going to try for a move? Is he going to make it 3 wide? Here we go. Is it going to be 2 in 1 straight for it? And Senna, down he goes into the comp. He's done it. He's through. Senna makes the move going into Le Comte, and he's now up into 15th place. It's Nigel Mansell, though, under considerable pressure from Irvine behind here. As I think Irvine's going to try and... He's in the slipstream. He's going to pull to the outside. Oh, dear. He's still holding on, though. I think he's going to maybe... Nah, he's too far back again. Yeah, he's too far back. Is Irvine. He's not going to make a move. Oh, bit of a twitch there from Mansell. It's on a big old send. That was a big send from Irvine. Mansell had to move out of the way there, but now Brundle's going to try and capitalise on this. We're going to ride on board with Brundle. But, wow, I think we need to have a look at a quick replay of that. Oh, that was so ambitious. That could have been a massive accident there. I think we're going to have a look, just another quick look at that again. So, it sends out the inside after Mansell, I'm pretty sure, made a mistake coming out of the first left-right. And... yeah, but now we've got Martin Brundle has found himself in the fight for 3rd here after this constant battle going on here between Irvine and Mansell. Oh, there's more battling going on here. What's happened? Oh, Rico Rydell's gone round. Rydell's gone round. What's he done here then to result in... what seems to be a big mistake? Yeah, he just got over the... oh, contact there with Hakkinen. And everyone is just about able to avoid it. But... as... oh, no. Simtek and Pacific need to move. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, David. So Coulthard hits him, but there's no damage. Rydell's back underway. But... so Rydell with a spinner in the bus stop. And making contact with Hakkinen. Lucky, though, there's no damage, but Senna... whoa, what a move there from Senna. Making a move on Hakkinen. He's on an absolute charge at the moment. after that problem. And riding on board with Eddie Irvine, and we can see Brundle as well all over the back of Nigel Mansell. Oh no! Our race winner! Our race winner from last time is up in smoke. Brian Herter's out. Herter has gone up in smoke, and he is out of this race. It is a hot one here today at Spa, but the engine's just struggling here. Engine problem. So even the more reliable engines are struggling here in the heat. But fortunately, that's Brian Herter, our race winner from last time out, is out of the race. So Herter is out, but Damon Hill starts lap 9 of 44 here. With Jean Lacey in P2. So Jean Lacey join it here. And then there's Eddie Irvine, Nigel Mansell, Martin Brundle, Giancarlo Fischer-Keller as well, running in P6. So good job there from the Minardi. There's Morbidelli, Van der Peet as well in P8. Been a good job. Head of Berger as well. So Van der Peet pulling off a stunning race here. There's Katayama. And Gerhard Berger as well. So, lap 9 of 44. Eddie Irvine running P3. Has pulled quite the gap to Mansell. As always battling going on here. Johnny Herbert side by side with Hakkinen, and Herbert's through into P13. So Herbert, after qualifying an absolutely horrendous P19, has now found his way up into P13. Martin Brundle, however, is maintaining the gap between him and the Ferrari. So, Jordan, if the car holds on here, could be on for a good result. Now, the team have been desperately trying to figure out these reliability problems for a while now, investing so much money into trying to help the car out, but it's difficult to... There's a car going slow. Coulthard. Coulthard's out. So... The only Simtech in this race is out with a loose wheel. Oh no. So that is David Coulthard out of the race after nearly getting points in Hungary. He will go no further in this one. And we have Jean Lacey now. And Eddie Irvine, Mansell, Brundle, Fischer-Keller in P6. Morbidelli there running P7. Van der Peet P8. Hannes P9, Kasiyama 10th, Berger 11th, Senna on an absolute charge at the moment in P12, and then there's Johnny Herbert in P13. So the camera's now cut to, whoa, bit of a lock up there from Van der Peet, but I think he got away with that. I don't know if you guys heard, but there was a, you could hear the wheel screaming out for dear life there. And yeah, so there's Eddie Irvine, lap 10 of 44. So we're only 10 laps in, and it seems like a lot has happened already. So, oh, even more is going on. So Lamy is out. He qualifies for his first race in a while. And he goes no further. He's out. He is out. Oh, Christ. That was close. Sorry, that was very close there to making contact with the Benetton, but he had a puncture. So, puncture for Lamy. He is out of the running, and unfortunately, will go no further. After not qualifying, mind you, as well, for Speaker Hakkinen as well, battling Herbert. He's not giving up on Herbert. But, yeah, Lamy, after not qualifying, I think, for the last... How many rounds? Well, he qualified for Silverstone, but He hasn't been qualifying for many. And he's out as Mancinelli. And who is that? Schumacher? Yeah, Mancinelli and Schumacher battling quite a bit here. And then there's John Lacey. Lap 11 of 44. We're a quarter way through this race here. And just waiting on the first pit stops to come through. And there's the stricken Sauber there off the track. So Sauber, unfortunately, have gone from having one of the most reliable cars on the grid to now struggling to even finish a race. So I'm not sure where this difficulty has come from. Maybe just a lack of not a lack of effort in the team, but, you know, a lack of structure, a lack of, you know, coherency. Engineers might be going on strike a little bit, as I don't think they're best pleased with working conditions at the moment there in Sauber. It's all Rick and Rydell there. Not the most ideal line. Lecomte. It's I think it's worth mentioning as well that Taki Inui, since being promoted up the main seat in Jordan after Eric Brenner took over, this is the first race he actually hasn't qualified for. So not too bad for Inui there. Not a bad run of things. And obviously Jordan, to be honest, after Brenner had taken over in their first 3 races with Brenner as the team manager, they were able to finish 5 out of the 6 races. I say 5 out of the 6 races, I mean, like, out of the 6 starts from the 2 drivers, 5 of them finish. As Panis is our first of our stoppers there coming in. So Jordan, yeah, just struggled for liability recently, but Michael Schumacher sends one down the inside there of Alex Mancinelli. This battle will rage on, I'm sure, as Johnny Herbert's in the pit as well. So they're getting quite a few pit stops going on now. As Hill does still lead, there's Irvine. And Jos Verstappen into the pit lane as well. So Verstappen pits, Gerhard Berger is making a move on Katayama. Berger's race pace here showing strong, but look who's in the background. That is Senna. He's on a bit of a comeback mission here as Senna. And I don't think he wants to give up anything here. And if he gets past both Van der Peet, nope, sorry, not Van der Peet, Berger and Katayama, he'll be up into 9th. So Senna absolutely flying at the moment. And, you know, ever since having that car fixed, he has just been unstoppable, really, in terms of pace. But here we go. He's not going to try down the inside of Pill, and that would be a disaster if he tried doing that. Which he hasn't. Goodness. But he is just going to stay in this train of cars as they head through turn 12 and 13. Now into Stavolo. Jean Lacey pits from second. So Jean Lacey into the pit lane. I think he's pitting to try and come out into a gap. And I think that's also Eddie Irvine pitting, Mansell pitting. Oh dear, there's loads of... Oh no, Irvine's still out, sorry. It's another car, Fishkeller's come in. As Senna as well, struggling to get past this pack of cars here. Maybe one of them's going to pit though. No, they're not. They're staying out. But Senna is struggling to pass these guys here. But is Mansell going to come out ahead or behind his teammate here? I think Senna's going to come out just ahead of Nigel Mansell. Or is he? Let's see here. No, Mansell comes out just ahead of this train. So, wow. So, Mansell is a whole pit stop ahead of Senna at the moment. So, Senna's going to really have to put the work in. He's now going to try and go down the inside of Yugo Katayama at Eau Rouge. And he's done it. So, he's through Senna with a fantastic overtake on Katayama. Makes them go into Eau Rouge. But Katayama wanting to come back on Senna here. But that throw is too powerful. But is he actually going to try and launch a move? No, he isn't. He's going to sit back. He's going to sit back and wait. I think he knows better than anyone launching a move like that on Senna is suicide. So he's not going to try it. I think he's just going to follow Senna and let him help him do the work to catch back up to Berger. So I do wonder when the leaders are going to pit though, because obviously Hill still needs to come in. Irvine still needs to come in. And Brundle as well, this still needs to come in. So I wonder what strategies these teams have in store for us today. So, nice little train of cars here, but Senna is going to need to pit soon, I'm pretty sure. Or is he? Let's have a look. So, Senna, yeah, in about 4 laps, I reckon Senna's going to be in the pit. So, he wants to make as much ground as possible. He's going to try and launch one down the inside of Berger. Oh, no. He's about to back up quite a lot there. I think he knew better than anyone that that wasn't going to work. And Senna, I think his title hopes are fledgling quite a bit here. I think after winning those 2 rounds in a row, Silverstone in Germany, I think a lot of people thought he was back into it, but this is going to be a real test here for Senna. It really is. Schumacher pits though. Schumacher's in the pits. So, yeah, Senna's going to need to pit very soon. I think those tyres are starting to go. You can see him just run a little bit wide. He's been pushing so hard, I think, on this set that he's going to need to come back in. But as we now, cameras cut to Martin Brundle. P3 for Jordan. Now, this is very hopeful. I think Jordan will want to get this car to the end, and I'm sure fans of Jordan will want to get this car to the end. You know, this team has just been through it all, really. And yeah, I think they want a good result. Which is completely fair, and you can't really blame them because at the end of the day, it's been a nightmare season for Jordan. They've been close to points in previous races, but Panish running it quite wide there. They've been close to points in recent races, but it's just never materialised. I mean, the closest they've been, I think, is 7th. So, yeah, nearly scoring points did Martin Brundle in Canada. Gerhard Berger is under threat from Senna, but no, Berger comes in straight into the pit lane for his pit stop, and that allows Senna to pass. So Senna up into P8 after his electrical throttle problem, and they managed to fix that in the pit lane. But like I say, he's got all the work to do now to try and catch back up now. Now that he's ahead of Berger, I think he knows that he can hopefully finish ahead of him in this one. And that will put him in a good position. But at this rate, you just do not know. Anything can happen in F1. And usually it does. So, now, I know I said Senna was out of contention, but I don't think he's massively out of contention. He is 18 points behind the championship leader. I mean, even crazily, if Berger has an incredible run of races, even he could be in the championship fight. I mean, Berger's only 19 points away, but I think realistically, if anyone's going to claw back a deficit, it's going to be Senna, really, isn't it? I mean, I think Senna all season has had the pace to probably win the championship and just fly away with it. As Damon Hill pits, by the way, race leader's in. But yeah, I think Ayrton Senna, he's had the pace to win the whole championship, but the car has just let him down so much, and himself has let him down. 2 really good examples: Canada and France. I think Canada, he could have easily won that one, but he spun at the hairpin as Eddie Irvine doesn't pit and takes the lead. And then in France, again, he just making mistakes. So he had an incredible form of race finishes, and he didn't really do much with it, really. I mean, he got 2 wins in a row in Great Britain and Germany, but again, just not doing much with it as Van der Peek comes into the pit lane from 6th place. But yeah, I think the stars need to align for Senna here, really, to really take the title by its... Oh, hello, Hakkinen and Herbo still going at it. But yeah, it's a shame, and you know, I'm sure the team principal over at Ferrari is going to do everything in his power to improve the reliability. And speaking of reliability, we're right on board with Jordan. And you know, I mean, at the end of the day, whoever's the fastest I'm sure will come out as champion, because if you can capitalise on a car being reliable on its day, then you'll be good. As here we go, Berger and Van der Peek though having a battle. So Van der Peek, I think, comes out the pit lane right by his teammate Gerhard Berger. Now, is Berger going to send one down the inside? We're not going to see it because the camera's cut Berger makes the move. So Berger sends the move on Van der Peet there. Apologies for the camera cutting there. That was not what we wanted. But Berger is through on his teammate. And I believe doesn't have to pit for a while now. So yeah, there we go. We're right on board with Johnny Herbert running P15. So yeah, now I think it's also fair to say we need to address just a few things as the race does settle down just a little bit. The rumours surrounding Mansell. So Mansell, incredible driver, we'll know it. He's had many seasons of incredible driving. As Rico Rydell tries to someone down the no, very close there, making contact. But and speaking of Senna, I think is coming into the pit lane now. I think yeah, Senna's in the pits. Yeah, Senna's in. We all know what Mansell can be, and we all know his capabilities. But unfortunately, I think he's just wanting to retire now, and you can see it in the way he drives. Unfortunately, he has some races where he's there, but a lot of them he isn't. And I've heard the team principal of Ferrari isn't best pleased with his performances, but maybe this one is where he'll be able to get some points for Ferrari, and who knows. But yeah, the morale isn't great with Mansell, so we'll see what comes of that. Sauber. Now, both cars are parked up on the side of the track, so we do get a good view of them every time we go past. But yeah, the team principal, they won't have a team principal for 1995. So anyone who is interested, make sure to join the Discord link in the description down below, where you can sign up and hopefully be able to take over Sauber F1 team, as Rydell is not sure what's going on here. I think that's Herbert trying to send a move down on Rydell. Yeah, he's done it. So there's all a bit of a lock up there from Hakkinen. Bit of a poor line through there. But again, this is Formula 1 at its finest. Anything can happen and usually will. So yeah, hopefully Sal will be able to find a driver for 1995. Damon Hill takes the lead of the race. As all the car going slow. Morbidelli's out. That's footwork out of this race. And he scored points last race, and I think this is just a season of hell. Unfortunately, not unfortunately for Morbidelli. He's not had the same luck I think Panis has with his car. He's out. I'm not entirely sure what that Marshall is doing there. That's looking. Oh, there we go. He's not had the same luck, has he, Morbidelli, this season as Panis. Panis has been incredible for footwork, getting them a podium. So now have a look at Fisichella now, who should be passing Katayama, who's in the pit lane. So Katayama is in the pit lane. Irvine as well has made his stop. Not sure if I mentioned that, but he has made his stop. Yeah, so Morbidelli has had a pretty shocking season, unfortunately. He's just not had the luck of the draw that Panis has had with his car. And Berger and Senna having a bit of a battle. And Berger nearly running it quite wide there, but Senna is going to, I'm sure he's just going to bomb past Berger here into P7. He is indeed. So Senna is through on Berger just before the end of the Kemmel Straight. But yeah, Morbidelli has just not had the same luck that Panis has. And you can sort of, yeah, I don't know what's going on there at footwork, but there we go. Speaking of Panis, he's nearly getting overtaken by Rydell, but Rydell slots back in behind the Frenchman. And yeah, so there's Damon Hill, our race leader. Now, oh, Mohammed, bang! Oh dear, he's gone round. I don't know how he's managed to keep going in this race, but Mohammed with a little bit of a spin there. And we are not able to catch the replay, the full replay, but Mohammed there with quite the spin there. So I'm sure that gave Minardi a good old scare. As Rydell now battling with Panis, and I believe that's Hakkinen. So Hakkinen trying to make his way through the grid. And the camera's now cut on board of Jean Lacey. So Jean Lacey running P2, Damon Hill off into the distance as it stands, and looking to romp away with this one. And There's a whole host of stuff going on here. We've got Panis, Rydell, and Hakkinen here. All having a bit of a ding-dong. And there we go. As I think Rydell's going to line up a move here. No, he isn't. He's going to slot back behind Panis. Oh, Herbert there. Getting perilously close to the barrier. He's pushing that car as hard as he can. I don't think he's as comfortable as he wants to be in there either. Rydell's into the pit lane. So Rydell pits. So Rydell's into the pit lane. Now have a look at the helmet of Jean Alesi. Jean Alesi. P2 as... Oh, Mohammed. I think he's had damage or something from that bit of contact with the barrier as he is slowing down. Mine Brundle's off! Mine Brundle's gone off! So while Mohammed's slowing down and going out of the race, Brundle has made a mistake and he's gone round. This seems to be a recurring theme with Martin Brundle. He's just making mistakes when he's in a position to score points. He's going to rejoin the race. Oh, he rejoins straight in front of Senna! No! Who is it? Yes, he does! Disaster! Senna's got damage. Senna's going to have to pit now. Martin Brundle has just taken out Ayrton Senna. That's going to be a hefty penalty. That's going to be. The FIA are going to investigate that, surely, after this race. As there's another car off. Mika Hakkinen's gone off. Mika Hakkinen's just gone off. What's he done? Is he tried to make a move on the footwork? He's trying to make a move on the footwork, and he just runs it off, and he's off. So Mika Hakkinen is now off. What is going on today? Hakkinen is off. Is he going to try and rejoin? I think so, but... So now Senna and Brundle, I assume, are both going to have to pit for repairs after that one. And I can't believe what I've just seen. The Senna's going to come in the pit lane. Brundle is surely going to follow him in as well. If not, then that is an absolute farce. Brundle didn't get any damage from it. Yeah, that's going to be a hefty... Oh, Mika Hakkinen is still adventuring the gravel here. Surely this is going to be it for him. He's just... I haven't got a clue what Brundle is... Mika Hakkinen is doing, but Brundle is probably going to get a hefty penalty after this one. I mean, he's just rejoined straight into the path of Senna, and that really could have been a horrible accident. I mean, it was a horrible accident, but it, you know, they're lucky to have not, both of them not retired from that, and Brundle's even luckier to not even have damage. So yeah, I think it's going to be a hefty penalty from Brundle there. It has to be, because he didn't even need to pit for damage, hit Brundle. So yeah, it's going to be a big penalty there, I think, after this one. Damon Hill absolutely flying. He's taking absolutely no notice of this. He's loving life up front, and as he should be as well. And here we now have a look at Eddie Irvine, who's absolutely chasing Alesi down. Irvine wants this championship as well. So we've got the 3 championship contenders realistically in the top 3 here. So all 3 from different teams as well. I mean, how incredible is that? As we now right on board with Van der Peet, who incredibly running P7. Tyrrell doing a cracking job here. As we're just about to reach the halfway point in this race. Van der Peet obviously getting the call up halfway through this season, as we now cut the cameras to Jean Alesi and Eddie Irvine chasing him down here. So just more on Mohammed's retirement though. Unfortunate there. It's 2 in a row there for Mohammed. And yeah, just really unfortunate there from the Minardi driver. As here we go though. Is Eddie Irvine going to try and send a move on John Alesi here? Oh, he's going to try it. No, he isn't. Very close there. But we've seen what's happened there before. And the last thing we want is a... Oh, hello. Rydell's off and he's out. Rydell's out with the transmission problem. So Rydell is out of this race. Damon Hill just coming up to lap one of the Pacifics here, but the Pacific is not moving out of the way whatsoever. As here we go, Jean Alesi then, and Eddie Irvine. Down they go into Blanchimont, the final sector. And Jean Alesi holds on to Eddie Irvine. I assume Eddie Irvine might have a lower fuel load here. That might be why he's able to catch up as fast as he is to Alesi. But this battle will rage on, I'm pretty sure. For P2, Alesi and Irvine. There's 22 laps left to go in this one. And Mansell's in the pit lane. And while that's going on, Eddie Irvine's going to try and make a move on Jean Alesi. They're going to go side by side down the main straight. Alesi looks like he's going to hold on here, but is Eddie Irvine going to try and launch one up the inside? No. Alesi holds on, but Mansell is in the pit lane. So Mansell pits, and that should put Berger up into 4th. I believe that was Berger. No, that's not. Yeah, it is Berger. Berger's up into 4th now. As here we go. Eddie Irvine's going to try and send one down the inside of Jean Alesi here. That's the most unconventional spot for overtaking. He's made the move done. He's made it stick. So Eddie Irvine is through on Jean Alesi. Cracking stuff there. So Eddie Irvine, that's a really good move, and he's up into P2. So let me just check the fuel load. So no, Eddie Irvine does just have the pace. Alesi's even got lower fuel. So yeah, Eddie Irvine with a little bit of pace is through. Giancarlo Fisichella now is defending from Brundle. Brundle has made the move on Fisichella, but unfortunately, he's going to probably get a hefty penalty after this one. So I'm not sure if penalty he gets will keep him in the points, but we'll see. That's if he even finishes this race. If he finishes this race, we'll get a time penalty. If he doesn't, it'll be a grid penalty. So yeah, that's my assumption from the FIA. It could be worse. I mean, if anything, that's ban worthy, really. I mean, he's pulled in front of a live track. I mean, you know, I get he's desperate to rejoin the track, but you just don't do that, really. Damon Hill, though, still leading. Still doing an absolute stellar job. Vander Pete sends one up the inside of Fisichella. That was sudden. That was very sudden. Let's have a look. I don't know what happened there. Did you kind of make a mistake? Or let's see here. Oh no, Fisichella has a problem. That's why. And Vander Pete says, "Thank you very much. I'll have that." Fisichella has an electrical problem. So Fisichella's going to have to come straight into the pits as soon as he can to get that one fixed. So more problems striking a Minardi squad. And Fisichella, after retiring from Hungary, I mean, he's got a point in this one. Oh, Berger, no! What a save! What a save from Berger. Under pressure from the charging Mansell from behind. Kicks the rear end out, but is able to save it through the bus stop. So Berger pushing that car as hard as possible. He hasn't got to pit for another 7 laps, but he's absolutely flying here. And yeah, there we go. So in comes Fisichella into the pit lane. I think his team is going to try and fix that electrical problem. As Nigel Mansell is going to try and go down the inside of Berger. Well, it's very ambitious, anyone who tries to go and make a move through there, but it's Hill there looking up a bit. I wonder if the team are going to start telling him to stop pushing as much, because you know, they don't want to be making mistakes while that far ahead in the lead. But Berger running P4 here. So will Berger be able to continue his streak of every race he finishes, he gets points? And how incredible would that be? He's been doing well at that so far. But his teammate for this one, Vander Pete, is also doing an absolutely stellar job. I think it has to be said. Vander Pete not had the rub of the green so far this season. He's retired from every race he's entered. And I'm sure he'll really want to change that, because yeah, it's unfortunately not what he wants. And I'm not surprised, really, because, you know, Vander Pete, he's been promoted, placing Sonny Hayes. It's a big shoes to fill. He's doing the best he can, but yeah, it's just not been easy for the Dutchman. Obviously, Run on board with the back of Eddie Irvine. And there's Fisichella. So he's out in 14th now. It's Fisichella. So with 20 laps to go, I wonder how much fuel is put in that car. So he's putting enough fuel in that car to last to the end of this race. So whether or not that will last the end of the race is another question. But, well, he'll last the end of the race is another question. But we shall see. So Nigel Mansell has backed off quite a bit from Berger. Berger has been able to create a nice little gap there. There's Senna though, P8. He is charging as hard as possible. He wants to get his revenge on Brundle. He's not messing about here. There's Van der Peet. So, hopefully, the number 4 car, there's some little statistics here for you. So, in 10 of the races that this car has entered, obviously not including this one, it has only finished one of them, has the number 4 car, whereas Gerhard Berger has only not finished 4. So, it's not too bad, but could be a lot better, I think it's fair to say. It's Eddie Irvine, though, pushing the absolute socks off of that car, but still losing time to Hill. Hill is just on another level at the moment, and yeah, it's incredible to see. Hill is just, he's not won a race since San Marino, which is round 3. This is round 11, and he's leading the championship, so he has been very consistent this season. Whereas Eddie Irvine, I think it's fair to say, has had the outright pace to win races, as shown in the fact that he's the most winningest driver this season. As there's a bit of a battle going on here. That's Brundle trying to get past. Who is that he's trying to get past? Mansell. So he's had trouble with one Ferrari. Is he about to have trouble with another one? So both powered by Italian engines. The Ferrari one much more powerful. Well, so much more powerful than Lamborghini. That's pretty similar in power, but I think this year, even though Ferrari have been hideously unreliable, everyone has wanted a Lamborghini. So it's a good line through there for Brundle, and I think he is going to be lining up a move. And that's Senna as well, just behind Van der Peet. But let's see here, is Brundle going to try and send one? No, he isn't. But now Senna is going round the outside of Van der Peet on the Kemmel straight here. Oh, bit of contact. Is he going to try and send one? Yeah, Senna's going to definitely send one going into it, and he gets it done. So Senna gets braking very late there is Senna, but he gets the job done. So we now have a look at Gerhard Berger, running P4 at the moment, drawing the rub of the green. So the team owned by Jay Kirkham as, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Brundle has made a terrible, terrible mistake. Let's have a look what happened to Brundle here. This is the second time he's done it. Yeah, it's a mistake from Brundle. He goes off. Oh, and he's lost his whole front there. Oh, please don't put in front of Senna again, Brundle, please. I think he's playing it safe this time. Yeah, and as Senna passes, he is saying karma. So Brundle, unfortunately, is he's still going in this one, but that's going to need some hefty repairs to the front of that Jordan. That is a less than ideal rejoin, my friend. Oh dear. So Brundle, battling for points, has made yet another mistake at that corner and has lost his entire front end. So he's definitely going to need to get that replaced. Senna into the points. So brilliant comeback there from Senna. And Brundle is sent trundling back to the pits. So unfortunately. And there we go. Fisichella around the outside there. What a move from Fisichella for P12. That's a fantastic overtake. Now he has Mancinelli in his sights. Mancinelli as well having a fantastic race here. Oh my goodness. Mancinelli. Oh my. Oh dear, please. I want to stop jinxing people. So right as I say, it's a fantastic race. He curb hops, but he is still having a fantastic race if this holds on. Now, Mancinelli has DNF'd the last 4 races, so I'm sure he'd dearly like to finish this one as Brundle is into the pit lane. And he's coming up to get lapped by Hill while in the pit lane. Lap 27 out of 44. Eddie Irvine, P2. Still desperately trying to chase Hill down. Michael Schumacher now looking to make a move on Mika Hakkinen. Nope, Mancinelli. Schumacher is through on Mancinelli there in his Lotus. So it's been said that Schumacher has been after a bigger seat than Lotus. He's not enjoying his time at Lotus. He wants a championship winning car, does Schumacher. So I think his morale is quite low. He wants another team to offer him a good position, a good seat for 1995 very soon, because I don't think he's very happy with Lotus. And unfortunately, the lack of competitiveness in the car. The rumour mill loves the spread, but I believe Ferrari are also in the talks. Speaking of rumour mill, I think again, as the dust begins to settle in this one, so far, again, don't want to jinx anything. Knowing my luck, I probably have and will. But Pacific, I believe, are in talks with BMW to become the works team. So Pacific will become BMW F1 team for 1995. It's all a bit of a lock up there from Katayama. But yes, that'll be very interesting if Pacific can get that deal to go through. And it'll be BMW F1 team. So no BMW Pacific. No, it'll be the full purchase of the team. It'll be BMW F1 team. So whether or not that goes through. Eddie Irvine, no! Eddie Irvine is on fire! Eddie Irvine is... oh, no! Running P2 has gone up in flames. Eddie Irvine, he's had some absolutely terrible luck. And Eddie Irvine is out of the Belgian Grand Prix. A driver who I firmly believe, without the retirements he's had, would be leading this championship by now. And considering the engine he's got in the back of that car, he's getting so unlucky. And that's another Benetton double retirement. Never in my... I can't believe it. That's incredibly lucky. He's hacking in there, trying to make a move on the Pacific. But that is just some of the worst luck I think I've ever seen. But Berger running P3 for Tyrrell. He's going to pit this lap though. So Berger will not be running in P3 for long for Tyrrell. But I just can't believe that. I can't believe it. Irvine is out. And for a second race in a row as well. It's just been terrible luck for Benetton this season. I mean, I've never seen the likes. And it's unfortunate because now I believe they're going to probably drop even more positions in the constructors as a result. Ferrari are probably going to get a pretty decent result out of this one. No, Benetton are probably going to say third, I think. But yeah, just terrible luck. It's Damon Hill into the pit lane. But it's just terrible luck. That is terrible luck. And I'm sure Benetton will be figuring out what on earth is going on. And I'm pretty sure they'll also be thinking, we want different engines for 1995 because for some reason, Renault has just not been a good fit for that Benetton. They were promised reliability. And unfortunately, that just has not come. So it's a shame. It really is. And Lacey's in the pits now as well from second. I think words just can't really describe really how unlucky that Benetton have been recently. You know, double retirement in 2 races in a row. I mean, how do you do that as a big team like that? I think Irvine's going to start getting relatively upset as well, which in turn will hamper his championship charge, especially with Hill winning this one. Hill's going to create a seismic gap in the lead, and I think a Lacey as well is going to pass Eddie Irvine for the lead. But what I think this is as well is fundamentally is Berger pits as well there. But fundamentally, I think what this is Benetton can easily turn around and say they've been lied to by Renault. There's all these yellow flags. Lorini's out. Lorini's out. The Ligier Ford with the transmission problem. And off he goes. So Lorini's out. of this one. But yeah, well, it's a shame. It really is. And I don't want to keep dwelling on it because obviously, we've got a race to commentate on here, but unfortunately, Benetton seem like they've been promised a lie. And that's Brundle slowing as well with some sort of problem or failure. So Martin Brundle has been in the absolute wars in this race, and it ends now. So Brundle is out and pulls out before taking out the race leader. Which, could you imagine if he did that? But yeah, transmission problem there for the Jordan. So cars are dropping like flies at the moment. As we cut to Mansell, who's under pressure from Senna. Senna with an absolutely incredible comeback drive. He's been through it all in this one. And I've never seen a comeback drive quite like it. This has been really impressive from Senna. I mean, does he need to pit again? Let me see. He does. But it's been an incredible comeback drive. And yeah, it's been incredible to watch, really. And I'm not sure if Mansell will not pit again. But I think Senna will still want to make this move on him. As the two Ferraris are going to be careful. They're going to be careful. They don't want to crash into each other here. Because if they do, then that is not going to be the best look. As Senna desperately trying to get past Mansell. Mansell is relenting, really. He does not want to let him through. And I get that. But at the same time, Senna is in a championship fight here. Mansell isn't. So surely you think that Ferrari will be on the phones. Herbert's in the pit lane as well. So Herbert pits. So surely you think that Ferrari will be on the phone saying, look, let him through. As here we go. They're going to go side by side down the main straight, down the Kemmel straight, not the main straight. Oh, bit of contact there. Senna tucked behind Mansell. I don't think Senna's going to enjoy this. He's going to send it down the inside, is he? No, he isn't. They're still right next to each other. As Katayama's in the pit lane as well. There's a whole host of pit stops going on actually at the moment. Senna going to try and launch one down the inside. He is indeed on his own teammate. He's launching it down the inside right when Mansell doesn't expect it, and through he goes. So Senna is through on Nigel Mansell. And had Mansell not moved out of the way, I reckon there probably would have been contact there. So Senna getting out of the way ASAP. He does not want to get involved in that. And yeah, a lot going on here. So Senna, I believe, is probably going to come into the pits this lap anyway. He is. So Senna is pitting this lap. So now right on board with Damon Hill. So Damon Hill still absolutely flying here, really. And I mean, I think it's unexpected. But yeah, it's just so many things have happened this race. And Senna pits. So Senna's in the pit lane. So now cut to Jean Lacey, who I believe is coming up to lap. Who is that? Hakkinen. Yes, she's coming up to lap Hakkinen. So Hakkinen's another driver I think who's been in the wars in this one, but he's still going. So fair dues to him. Mancinelli as well is doing a cracking race. So there we go. So Matt Hakkinen gets past. I say gets past. He gets lapped. Running P13 there. LaRousse. Senna comes out the pit lane in 5th position, 6th position. So Senna comes out just behind Van der Peet. So I would ideally want to be watching this. There we go. So Ayrton Senna just come out the pit lane right on the back of Van der Peet. He's going to fly through here, surely. The gap's closing. Oh my goodness. Van der Peet defending heavy against Ayrton Senna, but Senna's not going to have any of that. He's going to launch down the inside here, surely. Yep, there we go. Through he goes. Senna is through into 5th, but Van der Peet could be proud, I think, of himself here at the moment. He is currently breaking the car number 4 curse by maintaining that points playing position. And you love to see it. I think any fan would. So as we now cut to the dying embers of this race, we've just got another quarter left to go. Camera's now cut to Damon Hill. It's been a thrilling race, but there's still, I'm sure, many twists of the tail left to go. Hill leads the Lacey in P2, Mansell P3, Berger P4, and Senna is now going to be on an absolute charge, I think, to take back what he thinks, what he should think is his. There's Van der Peet with a bit of a lock up there, so he's just holding on to P6. There's Fisher Keller as well in P7. Yeah, Fisher Keller as well. He had that problem earlier on, and he's going to get to the end here on this fuel load and tyres. So again, impressive. Panis is slowing. Right as I was saying, he's had the run of the green. I'll say right as I was saying. I said it a while ago. But he's out now. And Olivier Panis retires from the race. Katayama as well. Oh my goodness me. Katayama's on fire. Katayama's out. Running 13th. That's 2 on the same lap. Retired from the race. So Katayama is out of this one. That's a very dangerous place to park it. There we go. Through goes Verstappen. So Katayama's out with an oil leak. And, oh dear, they're going to have to try and get that car away as soon as possible. Yeah, there we go. So that is 2 cars out in the span of 1 lap. And I don't think there's that many cars running, are there? How many have you got left? Oh, surely Verstappen's the last runner. So we've got 12 cars left in this race with 11 laps to go. Another quarter left to go. Surely there's going to be more problems. I just want to say, right, that the upgrades that were put through have gone through. I just don't know why everyone's choosing to retire. Well, I say choosing, they don't choose it obviously, but there's just so many retirements going on. It boggles the mind really. And maybe it's just these 2 tracks where there's a chance of retirements. There's Damon Hill as well, just flying up in front. But I really don't know what's going on here. And there's Van der Peet, P6. So yeah, there's just so much action going on. Yeah, it's just a lot. And I don't know why there's all these mechanical retirements going on, but fortunately that's what's going on at the moment. Mansell though running P3 for Ferrari, doing a very solid job. There's Damon Hill though lapping Mancinelli there, so he's through. Mancinelli as well running P9, his highest position in GP2OS so far. But again, we're having loads of retirements. Damon Hill running it a bit wide there. So all he has to do is keep it on the track here, I think, Damon. And he's pretty much won. With 10 laps left to go. But I'm just trying to figure out. So last race, we had 9 finishes. We had 9 finishes in Hungary, which is gopping. I don't know how that happened. And now yet another big worry is that same thing is going to happen again. We don't know though. I mean, Hungary was the race where we had the least amount of finishes, I believe. I'm just trying to look here. Yeah, so Hungary was with the least finishes in Hungary. Michael Schumacher's trying to make a move here on Mancinelli. Mancinelli though says no, thank you. I want to hold on to my P9. Thank you very much. But I do hear though, for the regulations in 1995, reliability is a big factor. Mancinelli, ooh, curb hops there. He's done that twice now in this race, and that's given the position straight to Schumacher. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just for 1995, I believe they're looking at helping to fix the reliability problems that has unfortunately plagued so many of these guys here today. And yeah, with not long left to go, I think concerns me is, I mean, I know it's hot. I do know it's a hot day, and I'm sure maybe the engines are struggling because we've seen a lot of engine blowouts and a lot of leaks and a lot of stuff go on. So I'm not sure if that plays a part in it, but yeah, just unfortunate really to be seeing that. As yeah, we just keep our eye on Michael Schumacher, but not for long, as we're cutting to Alesi, who's running P2. So Alesi at the moment is on track to be getting a solid podium scoring record here, and I think he'll only lose 4 points to Hill. He finishes second here, which isn't too bad. He'll go into P2 in the championship, and will be where I'm sure he will cherish, as there's Damon Hill still flying up front unapologetically. He's just led every single lap this race. Oh no, he hasn't led one lap. He's led every single lap apart from lap 2, I'm pretty sure, or lap 1. As far as I remember, it was a while ago. Or an hour ago, but I guess can't be choosers. But Damon Hill, championship leader, and he led after winning the race in round 1. Had a problem in Japan, or Pacific Grand Prix, should I say. Ended up went out of that race drawing Eddie Irvine. Ever since then, Damon Hill has just been on a consistent point scoring rampage. So he won in San Marino, and ever since then he hasn't won a race. He has been getting P2s and P4s ever since then. So get to see a P3 this season, but sure it will be interesting to see how this championship ends, as Eddie Irvine, I think it is also fair to say Eddie Irvine is, so far as this race is going on, he is the most winningest driver of this season. And if Hill is to win this, it'll be equalled, but can't help but think that had the Benetton been so much more reliable, he'd be in a lot more contention. Because at the moment, fortunately, it's really hasn't gone his way, and he'll be regretting that, I'm sure. Benetton as well will be upset because, as I said earlier, I think they've been sold a lie. As Schumacher's slowing. Schumacher's slowing. That's the second notice out within 4 laps. And Schumacher tires with a transmission problem, so Schumacher's out. And unfortunately, that brings us down to 11 cars left in this one. What's next? No! Oh no! Van der Peet is slowing! Oh no! 7 laps to the end. On track to score his first points in Formula 1, and he's out. Damon Hill! Damon Hill's going slow! Damon Hill is out of the race! With a... Oh my goodness me! Damon Hill is out of the Belgian Grand Prix. Jean Alesi takes the lead of the race. Damon Hill, Van der Peet and Schumacher all retire on the same lap. And Hill is out. The 2 drivers, first and second, have had 2 double retirements. 7 laps before the end. I can't believe that. I'm sat here with my head in my hands. That's insane. So Damon Hill is now out, and that promotes Herbert into 5th. Fisher Keller into 6th. And Mancinelli up into 7th. So Mancinelli is very close to getting his first points in Formula 1. But Lacey, if he holds on, will be 2nd and drawing with Damon Hill in the World Drivers' Championship. Words cannot express how... I can't believe that has just happened. I can't believe what I've just seen. I really... I can't believe that. I mean, my silence, I hope, is speaking 1,000 words right now, because I genuinely have no words to describe what is going on at the moment. That is the most heartbreaking retirement for Hill. He had a chance to increase the arrears, and now it's all to naught, and it's all to play for going into Monza. If Alesi finishes. If Alesi doesn't finish, then... Well, I do not want to say anything anymore, because, quite frankly, I'm sure just as shocked as you viewers are. I mean, it's insane. As we go right on board with the back of Gerhard Berger, yeah, it's incredible. Well, it's incredible in so many crazy ways. But Senna, as well, if Senna gets P3 as well, I think he'll be closing in as well, and it'll end up being a four-way fight. So that's if Senna can catch and overtake Berger for that P3. But well, if you'd have told me that Ferrari had got both cars to the end, well, basically the entire grid was hires in Belgium, I wouldn't believe you. But here they are. Mansell as well for another P2. He's already got a P2 before the season in France. He's going to look to do it again. And with 5 more laps left to go, it's going to be a long 5 laps, I'm sure, for Jean Alesi, who has the chance to make it a double McLaren win. It was Herter in the last one. Can it be Alesi in this one? And can Alesi become a double race winner this season, as Mansell lapping Jos Verstappen there? But I think we're right on board with Senna as he catches and chases down Gerhard Berger for the last podium position. Now, Senna, I think it's fair to say, probably could have won this race had everything that happened to him not happened. But you can say that about so many different drivers. And at the end of this, I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't even know what's going to happen after this, because surely people are going to be asking the questions of what's going on. Why is everyone struggling so much? And to answer that, I haven't a clue. I really don't. And you know, I'm sure this will change come Monza, maybe even after Monza. But I mean, for the viewers, it creates some exciting moments. But yeah, it's just crazy, really. It really is. Anywho, Senna really catching Berger up now. Jay Kirkham's going to be really holding his breath at the moment. because Berger as well, mind you, as well can thrust himself into this, because obviously Senna and Berger are right next to each other in the Drivers' Championship, so they'll both, you know, put themselves in contention as well. So it solely depends on how this goes. You know, the last thing we need is these two to make contact. But yeah, lap 40 out of 44 in a race that's been so many different things. I'm not sure if there's something else that can shock us today, because with 9 cars left in this race, I'm not even sure what we're considered shocking anymore. But this is going to be a very long 4 laps for Ruben van der Peet, owner and team principal of McLaren, who was not expecting, I'm sure, sort of performance that Lacey has laid out for the team this season. And same with Herta. Herta managed to get a win. Here we go. Senna going to try and look for a move. Going to turn 12 and 13. Oh, bit of content there. Oh, Senna's ran that very wide. Senna has ran that very wide, trying to make a move on Gerhard Berger. So Berger holds on. So Berger holding on to P3 there. But Senna's really trying to chase Berger down. I mean, Mansell is uncatchable, I think. I mean, it's Senna, we don't know, but Mansell has, I think it's fair to say, has had a good race in this one. He hasn't really put a foot wrong, unless something happened on the race. There's so much stuff happened in this race, I can't even tell what, you know, I forgot if anything did happen to Mansell, but he hasn't put a foot wrong. He's done what he needed to do. And he's now running P2. There he is. And I think Senna's going to look for a move on Berger at the end of the Kemmel Straight. No, he's going to sit behind him. This is going to start getting pretty tense now. So there we go. Is Senna going to try? Is Senna special going into it? No, he's not. He's not going to try and send it like he did on Mansell, if you guys remember that a few laps ago. Obviously, it's hard to with all the stuff that's going on in this race. But here we go. Ayrton Senna. He's right up behind Berger now. Surely he's going to try and make a move for P3 soon. Jake Kirkham's going to be holding his breath here and hoping that Berger can hold on. But Senna's very close to him. As Senna's going to try and send one up the inside. Again, it's very close. But Senna just can't get the move done. He needs to find a good point here. Make a move for the final podium position. And here we go. He's going to try and go around the outside. I think he's going to get this one done here, surely. Oh, here we go. No, he isn't. He's going to get the door slammed on him by Berger. So Senna and Berger still battling as they head down into the bus stop. Is this going to be an audacious send from Senna into the bus stop? I think it is. He's done it. Senna has taken P3 away from Berger. And Berger, I think, is now going to have to settle for P4. So that's a good move from Senna, going to the bus stop. And I think as well, this might actually be Ferrari's first double podium if it finishes like this. So congratulations, Ferrari. This is looking like a good one for you. And what this will also do with Ferrari, if it stays like this, is put them level with Benetton. So Benetton, after shocking 2 races, are now going to probably find themselves in 4th position in the constructors, or drawing with 3rd anyway. That 42 out of 44. Senna coming up to lap the Pacific here. He gets that one done on Verstappen. Is there an issue for Berger, or is he just going that slow? No, I thought there was an issue for Berger there, but no, Berger is fine. I'm just worrying now though, because there's so many less dots to look at on this mini map on the top right there, that if I see any of them slowing, I'm going to notice it. And this is what's concerning me. There's 1 lap left to go, and anything can happen still. It really, really can. So yeah, it's going to be a long last 2 laps for McLaren, and they're going to want to hope that they can hold on to this win, but you never know anymore. I think an honourable mention as well should be given to LaRousse, who have been able to seemingly get both cars across the line. Well, again, we don't know that, but Mancinelli, I think, is really proving his worth here. He's driven an incredible race and is running just ahead of his teammate Häkkinen, who arguably known to be a lot more experienced. This is Mancinelli's debut in F1, mind you. There's Nigel Mansell. Right on board now with Jean Lacey. Oh, I'll get our burger just lapping there. Jean Lacey is now about to head on to the final lap of the race here in what has been quite possibly the most insane race. He's going to head on to the final lap, and I think it's only right we ride on board with Jean Lacey on his final lap. And we'll keep my eye on every other dot on the track, but Jean Lacey, I think, was a driver that going into this race weren't expecting him to do as well as he has done. Through qualifying, he was out-qualified by Brundle, and even Mansell he was out-qualified by. Qualified P6, and you know, when you qualify P6 in F1, and you know, you're not expecting, you're hoping that things happen in front of you, and that's exactly what happened with Lacey here today. I mean, look at Herta last race, especially where Herta qualified. I mean, Herta, he qualified P8 for Hungary and he ended up winning it. So, you know, anything can happen, and usually it does. And Lacey has driven a flawless race. He's just put his car where it needs to be for the whole thing, and McLaren might be coming out of this one with a very solid win. And this will put a Lacey level with Damon Hill in the lead of the championship on 44 points. As things stand, in a race where Hill could have extended the gap, he retires and gives a Lacey the perfect chance to insert himself into the championship contention. It's the same with Irvine. Irvine retired, but a Lacey will now come round the final few corners, round the bus stop, and he will win the Belgian Grand Prix. Well done, Lacey. Here we go. Through he goes, and he wins. So I said 2 wins in a row there for McLaren, and they'll be loving every second of that. Häkkinen crosses the line, P8, 1 lap down. Here's Nigel Mansell though. Now, we spoke about how Mansell's seat was under threat, but with this P2, he'll put him up into P7 in the Drivers' Championship. Whether or not that'll be enough for him to get his morale up, or for Claudio Lombardi to keep him at the team, we will not know. But he's going to come around the bus stop, and he's going to come second for Ferrari and Senna as well, after an incredible comeback drive. After basically he had everything thrown at him this race, we'll finish P3 to cap off a double podium for Ferrari. Gerhard Berger as well crossing the line to finish P4, continuing his point streak in every race that he can finish. Jos Verstappen finishes an extremely respectable P9 for Pacific. There's Johnny Herbert as well, crossing the line in P5 for Williams after starting 19th. So not a bad outing for Herbert, but I think Williams would have wanted him up there with a Lacey to help out. Fisichella crossing the line in P6 as well. So Fisichella and more points as well. So incredible job there from Fisichella. Mancinelli, so close yet so far from scoring his first points, but I'm sure he will happily take a 7th place. This will shoot him up in the non-classified standings, shall I say. And Mancinelli crosses the line 7th.